Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to your new moon lunar cycle insight video for the cycle beginning with the new moon in Libra on the 8th or 9th of October, depending on where you are in the world, and culminating as we head to the dark moon on the 7th of November in Scorpio. So this is a deep, transformative, alchemical cycle as we dive deep into Venus retrograde, as 5 planets come together in Scorpio as we head towards that Scorpio new moon. So this video is designed to guide you through the major energies of this month, this lunar cycle, and to talk about how they affect you through your birth chart on a personal level. So we're going to begin this month with this new moon in Libra, the sign of the scales, the equinox new moon. And normally it's a very peaceful, very harmonious, very loving affair when the moon rebirths herself in Libra. However, this month the moon is going to be square Pluto, who of course is very much associated with the scorpionic energies, the modern ruler of Scorpio. So this moon in a way opens a gateway for the deeper lessons of Venus retrograde as the love goddess moves through the Scorpio underworld and into the light of Libra again. So it's a good time to re-examine our relationships and look at how balanced and harmonious they are, but also looking at what we are keeping on a superficial surface level, and how fearful we are of really being intimate and really allowing others to get close to us, because we know, Sagittarius, you are a sign that is geared towards that freedom and independence, and sometimes it can be challenging for you to form those intimate bonds unless there's something else obviously going on in your birth chart. So this moon really asks us to look at those energies, and for yourself it asks you to look at them particularly in relation to your friendships and the social circles and groups and networks that you find yourself involved in. Perhaps there are some projects or visions that you've been working on that are no longer working, because we have Pluto in the 2nd house of your birth chart, which is connected with finances, with resources, and we know that there's a bit of tension going on here because Pluto's been here since 2009 and Saturn joined him there late last year at the winter solstice 2017 too. So perhaps there are some unequal energy exchanges, either financially or on an emotional level or even on a sexual level, that have been happening that need to be examined and rebalanced at the time of this moon. So it's an interesting start to the month, and it does open that gateway of deep diving, because after the new moon the planets do start to slide into the sign of the Scorpion. So Mercury will be heading here on the 9th of October and the Sun on the 23rd. And Jupiter, your ruling planet, will be finishing up his stay in Scorpio at this time too, as Venus goes retrograde. So we have this huge emphasis on these scorpionic frequencies of death and rebirth, of alchemy, of higher wisdom, of turning our wounds into higher wisdom, which you of course are so adept at, being the centaur, being connected with Chiron as well. So these planets will be joining Venus, who's stationed retrograde in your 12th house of your birth chart on the 5th of October. So this is a really interesting space because the 12th house can be quite undefinable in many senses. It is the space of dissolution, the space of limitless and infinite energy and potential, and it's also a multi-dimensional energy that can take us through different lifetimes, different layers of our subconscious. So when we have all of these planets gathered here in this, in Scorpio, you know, this energy of clearing, this energy of purification, particularly of the heart, we can see that for you, Sagittarius, a lot of this work is going to be very, very internal. It's going to be very, very much to do with the emotions, to do with deep diving into the subconscious, all of those memories. You know, we think of water as the holder of memory, you know, the primordial waters that we are all born from is very much the energy of the 12th house. So we can find ourselves really clearing right back our timelines, right back to the beginning, clearing our ancestral lineage, clearing our karmic relationships as well. If there was one phrase I choose for this alignment, it would be karmic relationship. So not just the people that you might be in relationship with now, but memories of old loves, old connections. And this doesn't have to be just on a romantic or intimate level, although Scorpio does of course deal with that very profoundly. It can also be business associates, it can be like I said, family members, friendships, as we discussed in the beginning. Anything or anyone that you have been in relationship to can be coming up for karmic cleansing during this time. And we can be looking at the wounding of past lives even, you know, past lifetimes where we have given our power away, where we've been persecuted, where we've been through these really intense death experiences. It can all come up to be looked at. All of this stuff that we perhaps weren't even aware of starts to rise. And the 12th house likes to use the language of symbology. So we can be looking at dreams, visions that come to us in meditation, you know, whispers on the wind, signs from the universe, somebody saying something to us in a conversation, hearing a certain song again and again, you know, picking the same oracle card day after day. All of these are going to be very significant as your psychic senses and your receptivity opens during this period. It could be a time when we're clearing our fear around our psychic gifts as well, around our ability to see between the worlds, to see beyond realms, particularly in the kind of liminal space of November, October that we are here in the UK, as we head towards Samhain and the veil really thins. So it's a profound time of cleansing on an emotional level, on a spiritual level. This can be a time when we really want to go within, sit in stillness, be with ourselves. You know, we might find ourselves wanting to isolate ourselves during this period. We might find old feelings of times when we have felt abandoned, rejected or lonely rising up as well. So we can do some deep work with this transit. And as we go to reach the middle of the month, we see that these energies are going to be brought to a head, brought to culmination by the Taurus full moon. So this is a cathartic lunation for all of us, because it is bringing to the surface all of those emotions that have been bubbling up with Venus retrograde. You know, no matter what sign you are, where it's transiting in your birth chart, you're going to be feeling that intensity, because that is the nature of Scorpio. And the Taurus moon just kind of brings it all up, you know, illuminates all of the lessons, all of the stuff that we've been going through, all of the things that we're still kind of trying not to look at, all of those messy, dirty parts of our life, of our relationships that Scorpio likes to dredge up. So it's a very, very potent new moon, and it's also a full moon, and it's also sat in square to the nodes of fate and destiny. So we know that this is a crucial crossroads. This moon offers us a point of breakdown or breakthrough in many areas of our life. It's a choice point to decide what we're going to move forward to and what we're going to let go of. So on a personal level for you, Sagittarius, this moon falls in your 6th house, conjunct Uranus, opposite to Venus and the Sun in the 12th house. And we know that Uranus entered your 6th house back in May this year, and he has been redefining your day-to-day structures, your daily routines, perhaps your work life, perhaps your health. You know, he's been creating some shake-ups in the more tangible areas of your life. So you've been, you know, kind of dealing with this energy of earth through the 2nd house and the 6th house since last year, really, and when Saturn entered the 2nd house. So it's a time of clearing and purification on a physical, tangible level as well as we approach this full moon. It's a time of really looking at what needs to be changed, what needs to be fixed in our lives in order for things to run more smoothly, in order for us to become more grounded, more embodied, more able to bring our ideas and inspirations out into the world on a physical level. So it might highlight to you, Sagittarius, where you're self-sabotaging, where you've not been taking the practical steps to look after yourself, to look after your life, to look after your body. It can also be an axis of service and sacrifice. So this again is one of the main underlying themes of this whole retrograde period, the equal sharing of resources, emotional, intimate, financial. So if the balance is tipped and you're giving away more of your time and energy, more of your money, more of your ideas, more of whatever is coming through for you, than you are receiving, now is the time to redress the balance. And you know, you will find a wave of purification, a wave of detoxification washes over you this month that calls you to really purge the old. So it's a good time for you to clear your mind, as I said, with a meditation or spiritual practice. It's a good time for you to cleanse your body and soul. You know, start juicing, start a new diet regime, start a new exercise regime, whatever your body needs to help process the deep emotions that are rising. So a very crucial point in the month. Shortly after that, 2 days after, Venus enters the heart of her retrograde journey. She conjuncts the sun. She is face to face with her shadow self at this point. She is a Nana that has descended through the 7 gateways of the underworld, and now she stands in the blackness, face to face with Ereshkigal, who is her shadow. And the shadow is all of the things that we suppress, that we deny, that we don't want to expose because we feel like we might be judged, we feel like we might be shamed. All of those aspects of ourselves that we would not want anybody else to find out about, that we don't even want to admit to ourselves. And for you, this is things that have been buried in your subconscious for a long time, Sagittarius, that might rise up to be looked at, to be loved, to be integrated back into wholeness, so that you can create healing on all levels of your being. This can be a month of deep, deep healing as we detoxify on an energetic level. The body comes back into alignment. As we detoxify on a physical level, the soul comes back into alignment. So it's working with these polarities. It's very, very important. And we go through this intense moment, and as we reach the end of the month, as I said earlier, it's Samhain here, Halloween, in the northern hemisphere, that festival of death and rebirth. In the southern hemisphere, it's Beltane, the festival of fertility, sexuality and love. So really we're looking at both of these Scorpio polarities being very much accompanied and amplified by the energy of the season as well. And I find it very significant that Venus moves back into Libra on this day, back into your 11th house, where she will make what is known as her helical rise. And this means that Venus becomes visible on the horizon once more. She is the morning star. We can see her rising just before the sun if we go out early enough. And to the ancient astrologers and astronomers, this was the most potent, important part of the Venus cycle, because this is where Venus takes on the archetype of the archetypal energy that she will be working with for the next 18-month cycle. So this is in Libra, which is beautiful for us all because it signifies a new time of harmony, a new time of balance between the masculine and feminine, a new time of coming together, not only in romance, but in collaboration and cooperation as well. And this takes place, Sagittarius, in your 11th house, the house of friendships, of groups, of social circles, of big dreams and visions, individual purpose. So this can be a time when, a cycle really, an 18-month period where you will start to feel that people are coming to help you, you know, people are coming to support you, and you can co-create with others to create your big visions. So it's very beautiful. It's a very, very beautiful energy. And of course, Venus will be stationing direct here next month, which will amplify that energy even further before she heads back into Scorpio. And she will leave her shadow period on the 18th of December, but she won't leave Scorpio until January. So she's going to be going through that 8th house, that 12th house again, but in a very different phase of her journey. So like I said, Jupiter has been moving through here, your ruling planet, for the past 12 months. So he's been, you know, you're clearing up the end of a 12-month cycle, as well as dealing with the Venus retrograde energies, Sagittarius. So this is an extra time of deep soul diving for you, and it's, you know, clearing those final shards of things that might block you from embracing your true power, faith and purpose as Jupiter comes home to your sign next month, as the new moon rises in Scorpio. There's just 2 days between the Scorpio new moon and Jupiter's shift of sign. So we will talk about that more next time, because that's going to be a very powerful moment for you as Jupiter crosses the ascendant. Also this month on Samhain, Beltane, where, depending on where you are, Mercury will head into your sign. So he's going to cross your ascendant on the 31st of October as well. So this can enhance your need for communication, and it can draw people to you. It can help you network. It can help you share your ideas and vocalize your wisdom with the world, because you are, of course, the celestial teacher. But we also have to be careful that we don't fall into this energy of, you know, feeling like your truth is the only truth, which can be the shadow of Sagittarius in general, because Mercury is going to go retrograde here next month too. So an interesting combination of energies coming up for you. But to close this reading, I'm going to pick you a card from the Wisdom of Avalon deck by Colette Baron Reid, just to guide you through this month. This is really interesting. So the card that we've got is Burden, which doesn't sound all that nice, does it? But it really feels to me like this is letting go of those psychic and karmic burdens that you've been carrying for lifetime, Sagittarius. And also it can very much relate to that 6th, 12th house polarity that you'll be working with, which can be to do with carrying the burdens of others. Too much duty, too much obligation, too much taking care of other people. Carrying things that don't really belong to you, that aren't yours. And you might find that you are more psychically absorbent over the coming cycle as well, because the 12th house is such a porous, empathic house of the birth chart. So just be aware of what you are taking on, you know, what is your responsibility and what is the responsibility of others, Sagittarius? What is yours to carry and what do you need to put down? So I hope that this insight video has served you. If you wish to connect with me further, you can click the links below for my YouTube, my Facebook pages and groups where I do my astrological writing, and you can also contact me there for readings if you choose to. I'm sending you so much love for this transformational, cleansing lunar cycle.